Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of my Class B RV adventures. My name is Troy. Hey, today we are going to walk through the process of winterizing my 2017 Roadtrek Simplicity. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to open the water valves and empty all the water from the RV. The first one is located just behind the city water. Here it is right here. So we want to open that up underneath the front door. Let's have a close look here, see if we can see it. Okay, here's the second one right here. Sure you can see it. We're going to open up this one as well. Here we go. Now, there is a third one on the Roadtrek Simplicity, and I'm going to show you it right now. It's actually inside the coach. Here we go. We're going to have a look inside the coach. Okay, and the third valve is here underneath the hot water tank. A little bit difficult to see. I'm going to maneuver around a little bit. It's this one right here. You basically want to have that one opened as well. Okay, now that the three of them are open, let all the water drain out, and you'll be good to go to add in a little bit of the antifreeze. Okay, the next thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to drain the water out of the hot water tank. And the hot water tank is located, of course, right here. First thing you need to do is remove this cover, and you're going to see the inner workings of the hot water tank. Right off the bat, you want to bleed any of the pressure that might still be in the tank itself by simply taking this lever right here and letting it and opening it up, letting it breathe a little bit. Okay, the next thing that you're going to need is a 1 1/16 socket and wrench to remove the anode rod. The anode rod is located right here. So when you remove this, a lot of water is going to come out. And of course, that's completely normal. Let's have a look. Okay, let's remove the anode rod. Go slowly, because again, there will be a lot of water. This is completely normal, okay? And just let it drain out, and that's all you need to do. This is your anode rod. It's in good shape. Make sure you have it a good inspection. If it's deteriorated quite a bit, you need to replace these. But that's it. You just basically let it drain out. So you see, it's not uncommon. There can be a lot of water in your tank system, and this is why it's important to empty your tanks prior to doing any winterization at all. As you can see, there's just a bunch of water still pouring out underneath here, still pouring out of my fresh water tank. Lots of water. Very, very common. This is what you want to see. All right, now that the water is emptied out of the hot water tank, you want to, of course, put back in the anode rod, which is again right here. Simply place it back into the hole and screw it back in. Very difficult to do with one hand. I may have to put the camera down to put this in, but once it's in, you're done with that part of it. Okay, now comes the time where we're going to add in the RV antifreeze to the lines. Now, depending on the kind of work that you want to do in the spring to de-winterize will determine how you have to winterize. Now, what exactly am I saying? Well, you have two choices to winterize the Roadtrek Simplicities. The first one is to go directly to the water pump. Where's the water pump? Well, you have to remove this drawer. And then the water pump is located right here. Now, if you want to bypass putting in antifreeze into the freshwater tank, you've got to attach it to the water pump and let the water pump siphon the antifreeze out of the container and cycle it through your pipes. Now, it's a simple little thing. You'd have to go and get yourself a specialty adapter, but it's really a matter of removing this particular piece right here, attaching the siphon hose to it, screwing it back in, and then the hose, of course, goes into the container of antifreeze. You then flip the switch to the water pump, and it'll, of course, siphon all of the antifreeze right out and go through the system. However, we're not going to do that. We're going to add antifreeze right into the freshwater tank. Let me show you. Okay, so I've removed the lid to my first container of antifreeze, and I've added on this little funnel, if you will. It's an adapter that will make it much easier to pour into the freshwater tank. Let's get started. Okay, next you're going to introduce the antifreeze into the freshwater tank. Here we go. That's really it. So a lot of people might say, hey, well, why? I don't want to put it in the freshwater tank. Why would I want to do that? You don't have to. I choose to put it in the freshwater tank to ensure that it goes through every pipe in the system. Okay, after we've introduced a couple of bottles of antifreeze into the tank, the freshwater tank, what we're going to do is we need to turn off the bypass valves to the ingoing outlet to the hot water tank as well as the outgoing. Let's have a look here. Okay, so as you see right here, this is of course your hot water pipe. It's going to come out of the hot water tank. That of course needs to be shut. You see I shut it right there. And then down here, this is the cold water. This is the fresh water that comes from here and then into the pipe itself. We're going to actually make sure that that is closed off as well. The last one we have to open, however, is this bypass hose right here. That one needs to be open. So there it is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the pump. Let's have a look. All right, we want to turn on the water pump now to have the water pump itself siphon the antifreeze through the freshwater tank. Here we go. Okay, with the water pump on, you want to turn on your water. Start to get some of that pink stuff come through. As you can see, she's doing it. Spits a little bit. It's trying to equalize out the air pressure that's in there, but this is going to work just fine. Perfect. See all that pink stuff? You're good to go. Same thing here with the hot water. It'll take a couple of minutes, but it's going to come through as well. As you can see, that's in great shape. You're good there. Let's go to the galley and make sure the sink in the galley is spitting out some antifreeze. All right, in an effort to get the pink stuff to come through, here we go. You can see she's running some of the water that might still be in the tank. You want to keep doing this, of course, until the pink stuff comes through. There we go. We're getting some pink stuff now. Let's move it over to the hot water. Same thing in the hot water. We've got some pink stuff. All right, let's make sure that the toilet's got some pink stuff in it. There we go. You can see that's coming all the way through. Excellent. Okay, you're going to want to use what's left and dump a little bit into the shower hole in your shower. So let's pour a little bit into there. Okay, and that's good. A little bit into the shower hole. And I usually just dump the rest of this container into the toilet. There you have it. Now, of course, you are going to want to clean up this excess antifreeze. I have read that if you leave it, it will stain your shower floor and the sink itself. So you want to clean that up. Okay, after completing the tasks of getting the antifreeze to go through the galley sink as well as the bathroom sink, the last thing that you need to do is, of course, come out here and do your outside shower, which I do not have. A lot of Roadtreks do have the outside shower, so you're going to have to perform that task as well with that hose. Okay, the last couple of things that we want to do is make sure that we have some of the pink antifreeze coming through these water release valves. I've got 3 of them, one here at the back by the back passenger tire, where the city water is. So why don't just make sure we got a little bit of this pink stuff coming out. There it is, good. That means there's a good source of antifreeze in the actual line itself. Let's go to the front. Okay, let's release some out of here. Good, there's some there. Okay, and we just want to open up this valve here and allow for a little bit to drain out as well. Of course, it's this guy right here. I'm going to open it for a bit and then close it, and hopefully there'll be a little something that's come out of the pipe. Here we go. Let's go take a peek. And of course I turned it off, but you can see that there's a little bit that came through there. So that proves to me that antifreeze has gone through all of the piping. One last thing to do. Okay, and finally the last task. Prior to this winterization process that I've done, I emptied both my gray and my black tanks. The tanks were completely empty. One thing that you should do is you should try to get some of the antifreeze in the Macerator hose. So head back to an approved dump station, and now that you have all of the antifreeze in the tanks, simply pull out your Macerator hose and run the pump again. That way you know that you've got some antifreeze that's completely through the system. That's recommended and suggested. And there you have it. That's how I winterize my 2017 Roadtrek Simplicity. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you did find a liking to it, please hit the like button. I appreciate it very much. Until the next time, thank you for tuning in to another edition of my Class B RV Adventures.